This is my top 9 most anticipated games this year. Why top 9? Well, because I couldn't think of 10. It's already May, I'm like 5 months late on this video, and some games I wanted already came out. Now before I get into the list, I want to give a few honorable mentions to games that probably could have been on the list except for the fact that I haven't played the prequels to them yet. Games like Mass Effect 3, Witcher 2, and Arkham City. I simply have not played part 1 of those series yet. I own them, and I'm pretty sure I'll like them, but I haven't taken the time to play them, and that's why you won't see the sequels on the list. Another game is Brink, which I'm sure will be good, but it comes out this week, and I'm broke right now. Plus the market is just overflowing with first-person shooters. I have the Call of Duties, Bad Company 2, Crysis 2, Medal of Honor, yada yada yada. I just don't need another online FPS right now. I'd rather wait for the big ones later this year. It's the same reason I didn't get Homefront, but I'll probably pick them up later when they're cheaper. Okay, now let's start the list. Number 9. Firefall. Last year I watched the PAX trailer for Firefall and thought, wow, this looks really good for a free game. I'm still kind of confused as to what it is exactly. Is it a real MMO or just an online shooter or what exactly? I'll just read you the official description. It is a team-based action shooter combining character progression in a persistent open world that can be shared with hundreds of other players alongside a competitive, multiplayer experience that incorporates things like ladders, tournaments, and clan support. So yeah. All I know is that it has jetpacks, like tribes, and jetpacks rule. But anyways, just check out the trailers for it. It seems pretty cool, and it's free, so what the hell. Number 8. Grim Dawn. A lot of people are looking forward to Diablo 3, but me? I couldn't care less. However, I am interested in a similar game called Grim Dawn because it's made by the guys that made Titan Quest. It also uses the Titan Quest engine, which is cool because I love the physics in that game. It always made me laugh to send dozens of enemies flying through the air with my spells. It's only $20 and you can pre-order it on their site right now. Or you can pay more and get extra stuff like entry into alpha and beta. Plus it's always good to support the indie PC developers. Number 7. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Resident Evil meets Left 4 Dead / Borderlands, I guess, since the characters have different abilities like being able to go invisible. I love co-op and I love Resident Evil, so when you put them together, you have a game that I want. I don't really know much about it other than you play as the bad guys, a group from the Umbrella Corporation. Mr. X is in it, which is cool because tyrants always scared the crap out of me in Resident Evil games. And finally, you can kill Leon. Oh yeah. Number 6. Guild Wars 2. I didn't really care much for the original Guild Wars, but part 2 looks a lot different and a lot better. This time they supposedly have an open persistent world instead of everything just being instanced. I also like that the game lets you move while casting spells. I read that it's going to have a lot of underwater areas for players to explore. I always wondered why more games don't add underwater dungeons. I also like how there are some big bosses out in the world and not just in some instance cave or something. One thing I don't really agree with is that they seem to be letting every class do everything. Like, anyone can revive a fallen player, and it seems like anyone can heal. I'm not really sure though. Healer is what I've been playing in MMOs for the past 7 years. I like playing that role, and so it kinda sucks that they seem so anti-healer to me.
We want to make it so that you don't have to have any particular profession in order to play the game. We don't want you to stand around waiting for, a half hour waiting for that one healer to come along. We don't want you to have to play a healer because, the group you play with, none of them want to play a healer, so I guess you're going to kind of bite the bullet and play one even though you don't think it's that fun. We don't want you to have to play with that kind of guy who you really don't want to play with, except for he's a healer and he's kind of always around and you kind of need a healer, so you're willing to kind of play with him. We don't want you to have to do that. We want you to be able to play with whoever you want to play with. Play with your friends, play with the people that you enjoy playing with. That's sort of our philosophy.
Number 5. Rage. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this game. It's id Software's first in-house developed game since Doom 3. This is a good and a bad thing. On one hand, it's cool that it's actually being developed by John Carmack and company. On the other hand, they made Doom 3, which was not very good. Another thing that disappoints me is that I believe this is their first multi-platform game. Now, I know their other games are on consoles, like Doom 3, but they were made specifically for PC first, and then later ported to the consoles. Rage, however, was made for all consoles from the get-go. And so it just makes me wish I could see what they would have done had they not been limited to console hardware. The trailers are very mixed as well. I remember watching some gameplay footage from E3 on G4 and thinking, wow, this looks awesome. And then this year I watched the weapons trailer and was like, is this even the same game? It looked very mediocre and like any other random FPS. Then I watched the Dead City trailer and thought, okay, now this looks really cool again. I love the way this area looks and hope there's a lot more epic looking areas like this one. But then the mission trailer after that one looked kinda mediocre again. They're also going to show off more missions and I'm like, damn, stop already. I feel like I play half the game now. Don't you hate when trailers show too much? Oh well. So why am I even getting this, you ask? Well, it's id Software. They have been working on this for a long time, and I gotta see what they come up with. Plus it has a co-op mode, so that's always a major plus with me. Hopefully it's more fun than it looks. Number 4. Deus Ex Human Revolution. When I first heard about Deus Ex 3, I had a negative reaction to it, because the first Deus Ex is one of the greatest PC games of all time. So when you try to take that and turn it into a console game and put a different development team on it, fans of the original get worried. We've been burned before. But after watching footage of it and listening to how the developers talk about it, it doesn't seem so bad. In fact, it looks pretty cool. It seems to have the same vibe the original did. I just hope they put as much effort into the game as they did the cinematics. Number 3. Red Orchestra 2 Heroes of Stalingrad. Red Orchestra 2 is another World War II first-person shooter, but unlike other shooters, it focuses a lot more on realism. It's the sequel to the 2006 Red Orchestra Ostfront, and it adds a bunch of cool new features. A couple of things I like are co-op, where you can play the campaign or play skirmish against bots with your friends. There's also a cover system with blind fire, which I always find fun. There's also features I don't think I've ever seen before in other FPS games, like first-person physics, where your gun is actually physically there in front of you, so it can actually bump into walls.
You've probably seen this in a lot of other games. You walk up to a wall, the first-person weapon comes down. We've taken this type of thing quite a bit further and added what we call first-person weapon collision. So when you're aiming, if your weapon touches a wall, it actually physically interacts with the wall. The wall will push back, and this really gives you the feeling that you're using a weapon in the first-person world as opposed to just having something bolted to your screen.
Not really sure if it's a good or bad thing, but it's neat. And there's tons of other cool features that I don't have the time to talk about. Number 2. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I love the Elder Scrolls series. Even though I tend to bash some of the newer ones for being more about graphics than gameplay, I still enjoy them. Skyrim's graphics look great. However, I personally don't think they look all that much better than Oblivion's. And I don't mean this in a bad way, because I like Oblivion's graphics, and Skyrim just looks like an updated version of that. I'm hoping that because of this, they focused more on putting new features into the game instead of just trying to make the best looking game. One thing I do love about the latest Elder Scrolls is that they include mod tools. Morrowind and Oblivion have so many cool mods. I can't wait to see what people come up with for Skyrim. Skyrim is my most anticipated single player game coming out. So what's my most anticipated multiplayer game? Number 1. Of course, it's gotta be Battlefield 3. Besides having probably the best graphics I've ever seen, DICE is actually trying to make up to the PC gamers this time by making PC their lead platform and bringing back some of the stuff they left out of Bad Company 2. Things like 64-player battles, jets, and prone. It's also gonna have co-op this time. I was so pissed when they didn't bring Bad Company 2's co-op mode to PC. I hope we'll have the ability to host our own servers this time. And maybe add some mod tools and bots. I mean, if Call of Duty, the game that everyone seems to bash, can do these things, then why can't this game? With all the hype, DICE better not mess this up.